What's up, guys? I'm back again, and I'm gonna need. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm gonna have to go out and take care of Benny the bull, Buckaroo. He's scouring, and there's a little bit of a hint of blood in his stool, which is not. I don't think it's good, obviously. Physically, his appearance-wise, he seems okay, but he's definitely a little bit more sluggish, not his usual self. And I've been trying to read up on it. It might be coccidiosis or something like that, or it could be salmonella or one of the viruses. I don't know, but according to Google, it says the main thing, doesn't matter what type of scours or what the cause of scours is, the main thing is to keep them hydrated. So I'm back to good old Resorb, electrolytes. I'm going to mix it up and head out there, and hopefully he'll take the bottle. He finished up his bottle of milk, his 2 quarts of milk this morning, so hopefully he'll take some electrolytes, and we'll keep him hydrated, and hopefully it doesn't get worse. So that's that's what I've been using. Okay, we finished the electrolytes. That's a good sign. He's taking the bottle, so hopefully he'll keep that up. I'll give him some more later. And you see him, he's, like I said, physically seems okay. I'm just trying to stay ahead of it. So yesterday, 2 days ago, I finally got them out to pasture. I didn't get a video of them getting out there because I was a little too anxious to get them out to pasture, because I didn't want them cooped up in their penned area any longer. So I did have hot wire run inside their pen for a while, and I think that kind of trained them, because they certainly tested it. And so when they were out in pasture, when I finally let them out, they saw the wire, they kind of recognized it, and they no longer came and ran through like they previously did. So they'll now see the wire and they'll slowly approach it. Occasionally they'll still come up and sniff at it, and they've been zapped a few times on this wire, but I think they now know, hopefully, that the hot wire is their boundary. Hey, cow! So, little update on the scour situation. All of them seem to be doing fine now. Electrolytes were given to Benny, the steer, the little bull here. Normally my son's out here helping me, but I was getting a little paranoid because apparently I started having some stomach problems myself, and blatantly put it, I felt like I was having scours, and I wasn't sure what it was from, and so I did a little research, and apparently scours can be contagious, and according to Google, so some of that bacteria, and I should have known this, but some of that bacteria that can cause scours in these calves can be passed on to humans. And I was wondering if that's why I was getting the loose stool myself. I don't know, I can't say for sure, but because of that I was a little paranoid, and so I had my son, while the cows were scouring, I had my son stay away from him. I didn't want him to have too much close contact, just in case that was what caused it for me. But I'm getting better. I mean, it lasted about a day and a half. But yeah, that's something I haven't heard. All the videos I've watched, nobody's mentioned anything of that. I know people talk about, you know, salmonella and E. coli and all this other stuff when handling chickens, but when it came to cows, it just, for some reason, it never occurred to me to think that some of the stuff that they get can be passed on to us. So probably an amateur thing on my part, but anyways, that's why my son's not out here. I told him once these cows are feeling a little bit better, which I think they are, then he'll start coming out with me again. But just a side note there, for those of you that are wanting to raise bottle calves, just be mindful if you're in a situation where you're having to take care of sick cows. Some of that stuff, it's called zoonotic, diseases, and that's where the diseases can be passed on from humans to animals and animals to humans. So once again, probably should have known that, but just didn't really think about it. I think about it all the time with chickens because we're always concerned about handling chickens. For some reason, just slipped my mind with cows. So, and that of course is the other reason I wanted them out here on pasture, so they're not constantly sitting around in their enclosure over here, peeing and pooping and laying down in the same stuff. So by having them out in pasture, they were out last night for the first time actually in pasture, and instead of sleeping in their enclosure, they were out here laying in the open. So this is roughly 4-ish acres, maybe 3.5 acres, I think is all that they have, but for now it's plenty, and it's going to allow them to not have to sit around in their, I mean their straw is clean, I constantly clean out their enclosure, but it's still, you know, enclosed, so it's much nicer for them to be out here where it's nice and fresh. Betty and Bernard are doing great. They've been in their enclosure with them. So I'll tell you what's interesting. And maybe they've started taking on that guardian instinct of theirs. But after we finally let the cows in to the pasture, I noticed that I was inside and I was monitoring the calves. As they were running out further into the distance, Betty and Bernard actually went out and followed after them, almost as if they were watching them to make sure they weren't going to get into any trouble. So that was actually kind of neat to see. Even when they went out that way towards the water, towards the far end on the other side of the water, I noticed Betty and Bernard were laying down here, and they immediately got up, darted off over there, and were kind of watching to just as if to make sure that the cows weren't going to fall in the water or something like that. I don't know if that's what they were doing, but that's what it appeared they were doing. So yeah, other than that, they're for the most part just hanging out right here while the cows are out doing their thing. And occasionally they'll run off and kind of go check on the cows, but they'll hang around here. Haven't made any attempts to get out, so it's working. I mean, they're staying in their enclosure. They still are not in the front area of our property like before, so our chicken coop is still at risk, and you know, we still could get wildlife coming up to our house now. But I'm hoping I'll be able to get them back out occasionally and just let them run the front area of our property. And maybe we'll see if we can leave them out overnight and see if they run anymore after the coyotes. But I actually haven't heard any coyotes in a while, so we'll see. Maybe coyote season's over. Well, I spoke too soon. Now all the cows actually went in to their enclosure. Maybe they heard me talking about them. Thanks for watching. Happy Easter to all of you, and stay warm, because here in Kansas City it's still cold in spring, unfortunately. Thanks again.